Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another edition of the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network Sunday Rise. Let me turn some light on in here, shed some light on your life. Ow!
March with me. I'm sorry.
You got pretty much a two-man power trip this morning with the Midnight Rider and the big guy KG. We're here to satisfy your sports needs and wish everybody a happy Father's Day. Um, Midnight Rider. I don't think I did that justice because I don't normally bring the ball up court the first possession. So please, Magic Johnson of Virginia, will you help out Magic Johnson of Maryland and bring the ball up court for me?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. This is the Sunday Rise. First and foremost, before we even get this started, I would love to wish everyone, the fathers that are here, the fathers that were here, and the fathers that's going to be here, a happy Father's Day. This is the Sunday Rise. This is where we do. We're going with a two-man crew, and we're going to do this all for you. We're going to touch on a little UFL, US Open, little MLB, NHL, and the NBA Finals. And we'll do that all in this little section of this show. With that being said, I'm the Midnight Rider. He's the big guy KG, and the big guy KG is your host for the day. Take it away, my brother.
See, that's what I'm talking about. See, that was that. Let me just win the tap. And then it's like I just tossed the ball up, and Midnight Rider come around, he grabbed it and he bring it up court and he set the table. That's it. I let him set the table the first one. After that.
But no, it's funny because we both looked at each other like, I was like, ah.
See, when you work in the backcourt with another guard that knows your style, we're good. So, as the Midnight Rider said, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day to all the uncles who don't have biological kids, but they're father figures still. And I'll say this to everybody that's celebrating this Father's Day, and your father's no longer in the earthly realm, man. Happy Father's Day. He's still watching over you, I promise. As you can see, that's the whole point of my background. Me and the boss, BJ, people always wonder how we're related. We share a father. Our father is John Shaft. And the late, great John Shaft, the sons of Shaft is what we are. So, got to celebrate the old man on Father's Day. Man, Midnight Rider.
Yes, sir.
I got one for you. I got a good one for you. All right.
Away, man.
And anybody in the comments, I want you to get in on this too. Let's do your favorite sports memory with Dad. Let's get that.
I could go with so many, but I'm gonna do two, and they happen in the same year. It's 2012. It's game 4 of the playoffs, and the Nationals. They're playing the Nationals. I mean, the Nationals are playing the Cardinals, and for big moments, I used to come upstairs and sit on the edge of the couch, and he'd be in his love seat, in his recliner, and Jason Worth comes to bat, hits one out the park. Nats going to win game 4. We just jump up and high five, as we did many times when we watched games together. And then, like right after that, I went to go see how much, like when tickets go on sale. When tickets didn't go on sale to after midnight or something like that. So I got online. I knew he couldn't go with me, but I took one of my buddies with me and got tickets for game 5. And of course, that was the most soul crushing day of my sports history. The other memory, same year, It involves RG3. It's late in the Minnesota game, and I come upstairs because it was a close game in the fourth quarter. And sometimes we watch fourth quarters together, and I was just like, we need to play. We need to just get this over with. And he breaks free, and I'm thinking, oh, he got to just get down. But instead of getting down, he boogied on down the sidelines for that 66-yard electrifying moment in FedEx Field. One of probably the 3 top most electrifying moments in FedEx history. And yeah, we were just, he was hooping and hollering, yelling, go, go, go. And I was right there alongside him. And it was just like a fist bump. And then we watched it in the game, man. Like those are the 2 biggest from that stretch. I was really soul crushed in 19 because he passed away in May when they were 19 and 31. And of course, that's the year they won the World Series. So after they win the World Series, I was living up the street from where I lived, our old house. So I drove back to our old house, sat in front of the backyard. I had a bottle of champagne and a 7-ounce Budweiser. And I popped the 7-ounce Budweiser for him because the running joke with my friends was he used to always call us and be like, I got a case of beers for $8.99, and we get to the house and it'd be the shorties. So I always pop a shorty for him. I was just popping champagne, and then one of the neighbors came out saying I was being too loud. It's like, all right, and then I just left. And I was so hyped that day that I drove with the champagne bottle in like my cup holder, like it was supposed to be there, back up the street to where I lived at, because it was only like a 5-minute drive. I was like, damn, if the police came, I ain't got nothing to say. It's just the Nats won the World Series, baby. Those are my big ones. Man, not the mute monster. The mute monster's killing you.
Early. It lives rent free. Got a comment here. I'm gonna try to keep my composure with this one. Xavier said mine is going to Baltimore Oriole games. I didn't even know he remembered that.
Yeah, they remember more than you think, man.
Yeah. But the simple fact that he get ready to turn 17, and I forget who the O's even played in that game. But I had got off work and hopped in the car because I had my work truck. I had to park my work truck, pick him up from daycare, and he still had his school clothes on. And we shot up to Baltimore. I think we had $50. That's all we had. I was broke, but I had enough gas, and I was like, man, what we gonna do about parking? We wound up parking behind the stadium for free. And the game started at 7. We got there about 6:30, got in the gate, walked around to our seats. I got him a hot dog, a bat, some other stuff. And wow, he pulls up the picture. Shoot, you can't really see it, but I might, man, he pulls up the picture of him at the game, and we were there until long after the game was over. And we walked around the outside of the stadium and took a couple pictures. And by the time I hit 295 to go back home, he was asleep. So I had to get him in the house, get him a bag. I think that was for his 4th birthday. I think that's when that was. I think it was 4th birthday. We rolled up there. But yeah, surprised that you remember that, kid. J-Dub said, good morning, fellas. Good morning, J-Dub, man. Glad to have you here. Well, I know one thing about you, Midnight Rider, is when it comes to sports stories, especially ones involving your dad, it's never short of amazing, man. And I always say, I wish I could have met him, because the way you talk about him, the things, it's like, yeah, I'd have been sitting there right with him, because I think I had the same philosophy he had about a lot of stuff. So yeah, I would enjoy.
Yeah, y'all have been best friends. Because you'd have sat there and you'd have had to listen to him talk about John Thompson and all those guys, Y'all have talked about downtown Freddie Brown and Gus Johnson and the Hawk. I was probably the only kid in like third grade that knew who Connie Hawkins was. And I used to always sit, like I said, I was like whenever he went places, I was the person riding right along with him. I'll never forget me and my uncle, because my dad, my uncle, we went to my cousin Johnny's house, and they lived over there right by RFK, and it was one of the holidays. I think it was Thanksgiving. No, it had to be Christmas because the Blue Gray game was on. If you remember that, and so they were sitting there watching the Blue Gray game, and they just started talking. Of course, the booze was flowing, and they were just sharing stories, man. And I just sit there and just soak it all in. And you'd have been right there with us, just soaking it all in, because that's the kind of content you used to. Old school basketball, all that old school, yeah, for sure.
Most definitely. And then you said something about Connie Hawkins. It's crazy because I seen video of Connie Hawkins when I was in high school. And it's this one rebound when he went up with one hand. And when he grabbed the rebound, he cuffed it down like that with one hand and pulled the rebound down. That Monday, I went to school and I started rebounding like Connie Hawkins. I was pulling everything down like Connie Hawkins. It was a mix between Connie Hawkins and Dennis Rodman with the leg kicks and pulling it down, flipping it ahead. Man, I was doing all of that. And people be like, but you never watched him play. I'm like, no, but that's my spirit animal. The Hawk was my spirit animal. That was my inspiration for a lot of things that I did. And the way you talk about your dad like that, man, you sure he ain't never been in Dodge Park Barbershop? Because that's all they talked about.
Hey, man, my dad, the funniest thing, and my sister can attest to this, but the funniest thing is you could go nowhere and he not know somebody. Everywhere we went, he stopped, have a conversation, start talking. Oh, hey, what's going on? Blah, 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 blah. And my mom used to say it all the time. Why you can't go nowhere and just be normal? Like, why can't you just go somewhere and just sit down and you always know somebody? And that's how it is. And I give you this one. When I wasn't working, and you'll love this story because you'll know the spirit of it. On Mondays, this was like 2018, towards like probably end of 18 and the beginning of 19. They used to have the Southeast. There was the guys from Southeast Monday morning breakfast at IHOP on Alabama Avenue. And so we go in there on the first Monday, and it'd be a bunch of guys, and they'd be telling stories. And one of the guys used to caddy at Langston Golf Course. I can't think of his name now because it's been so long. And he tells stories about Calvin Pete and the black golfers and the stories of Langston Golf Course. Dude, it was like it was like a walking history book. And then one of the jokers he would joke around with everybody, telling them that they used to walk him to school and he was the oldest one in the room. So you know how it is, man. Just old man stuff, man. It's a beautiful times, man.
Love it, man. Love it. Comment real quick. Tim says, happy Father's Day, y'all, from Tim, Gentleman Jack's cousin. Happy Father's Day to you too, Tim. And happy Father's Day, J-Dub. Everybody listening, if you didn't catch it at the beginning of the show, so happy Father's Day. Man.
I got that wrong.
Huh?
Nah, on that banner. Let me correct that real quick.
Okay.
I got the school wrong, but
yeah, because that's what I was getting ready to go to.
Yeah. Go right to it. You good.
And speaking of a proud dad moment, congratulations to Day Pearson, commits to Western Kentucky University. Midnight Rider, tell me a little bit more about that.
Dog, so this is one of the guys I went to Archbishop Carroll, the greatest high school in the world. We became friends on Facebook, and I remember just seeing this little tyke wearing the number 3, yellow and black jersey, playing ball, and then you just kept, like, every time you saw him play, you just saw natural things. Like, there's things that you do when you play football. There's certain things you do because you know football, you love football. If you get what I'm saying, like he
Mhm.
just had this natural spirit to him. And I used to always joke with his pops, like, "Yo, when he, just don't go to Georgia. Just do me that favor. When he commit, just don't let him commit to Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Let him go to a good school like Notre Dame or something like that." But finally, I guess yesterday he made his mind up and he decided that he was going to commit to Western Kentucky. So there's a dope photo. I'm gonna try to pull it if I can share it off his dad's page of him in his WKU jersey. The joint is dope. It's red and black. He got the number 1 on. That's the number he'll be wearing this season. He plays at Brookwood in Georgia, and his journey's been his freshman year. He played wide out. He played corner his sophomore year, his junior year, and I think he's playing safety now. I don't know what he committed as. I'll get those details, but yeah, I mean, this is going to be one of them kids that he's going to be his. I don't know what his measurables are, but you can see the immeasurable, the part where the knowledge of the game, the ability to see it before it happens, and I think that's going to carry him a long way. So you might be seeing him on Saturdays here in the near future. And when you see that name, just remember you heard it here first.
Most definitely. Love to hear that. Love to hear it. And you got, when you can see somebody child grow like that and then they commit, it's like, that's what's up.
It's like part of the
fills
journey.
you with so much pride and joy. It's beautiful, man.
Totally agree, man. And it's funny because you saw the journey. And I even would if I remembered the streams or I could get the streams, I would watch his high school games. I'm gonna try to watch them this year. On whatever stream I can get. And yeah, the kid's just a natural football player. And I think you could put him anywhere and he'll figure it out. That's the beauty of it.
So Western Kentucky, he may be on this year's update for college football 26. So Midnight
he'll be on 27.
Okay, so he's not committed for this upcoming season. He's gonna be committed for 27.
Yes, he plays his senior year at Brookwood this year.
Oh wow, he committed early.
Oh no, I'm sorry. You're right, 26. But in college football, you remember they do a year ahead.
Yeah.
So this year is gonna be 26. Next year's college football game will be 27. So he'll be on the NCAA 27, playing his 2026 season.
Okay. I got you. J Dub said happy Father's Day to all. Matty Ice said happy Dad's Day, guys. Shady connection here where we are glamping.
Hey, hold that. Give me that. Yeah, leave that right there for a second.
Which one? Oh no, that one. That right there.
Yeah.
And my wife said happy brought the milk back day. Went out for milk and actually came back.
Happy gone for cigarettes and came back home day.
I'm going out for a pack of smokes. You came back. Oh shoot. Hey, I didn't think that was a thing. A buddy of mine, real cool dude, man. We used to work together. He said he used to leave. And at this time he only had his daughter. And he said every time he would leave for work, and he would come back home in the morning, she'd be getting ready for school. She would look up at him and say, "Dad, you came back." He was like, "Yeah, I live here. I'm always going to come back." But I never thought that was a thing with kids until my own kids did that to me. I went out and I was gone for a couple of hours and I came back. They was like, "I didn't think you were coming back." What do you mean? I live here. You guys are here. I live here. My stuff is here.
Hey, but you know what that's from? I mean, think about it. The biggest Father's Day song is Papa Was a Rolling Stone.
Yeah. Now, if you want to listen to a Father's Day song, the Winstons, Color Him Father. That right there, that's one of my favorites right there. But let's get off into this show before we go way down the mulberry patch, the beaten path. We just go down there. We got to talk about this because this right here is where it's at. Do I still got it? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I still got it. Left shield up. Who are we? The defenders. I didn't think I still had it. My goodness, I'm glad I got that. But the DC Defenders are your UFL World Champions. They defeat Michigan 58-34. This game was over by halftime. Let's be honest. I'm just going to say this. I'm going to spitball and say this. At the end of the first, it was 13-6 Michigan. DC scored 31 points in the second quarter alone. They went into halftime 37-19. And then they only scored 21 the rest of the way. And they held Michigan to 15. So they won 58-34. Hold on, let me get some stats here. Jordan Ta'amu, 390 yards, touchdowns. Abram Smith had 10 carries for 63 yards, and Jaden Mickens had 6 catches for 132 and a touchdown. For the Panthers, Bryce Perkins had 338 passing, 4 touchdowns and 1 pick. Nate McCrary had 6 rushes for 62 yards and a touchdown. Malik Turner, 10 receptions, 168 and 3 touchdowns. Total yards, DC had 580 yards total compared to Michigan's 434. They got 27 first downs to 19. Time of possession, 32 minutes, 29 seconds for DC, 27 minutes and 31 seconds for Michigan. Man, did you watch any of this game?
Yes, sir. I know one thing for sure and 2 things for certain. Detroit don't want to play Washington in any round of the playoffs this year. Jeez.
Say it again.
Was it the Commanders go to halftime? I think it was 31-21 during the divisional game. And then this is 37-19. The thing that was amazing to me was the quick strike nature of the defenders. And just I think this was the antithesis of their season. Like, you couldn't define their season any better than for a team to lose the head coach and the defensive coordinator 2 weeks before the season started, and they were just like, good. Their whole thought process was good because we're going to figure it out and we're going to make it happen. And they just had this mentality the whole season, and I think it played out in this playoff run. And I saw the big touchdown to Mickens. Is that his name? The guy you were talking about? I saw his touchdown. Then I saw the big run. And like I put my head down to do something else, and I looked back up, and they had scored again. I was like, all right, this is not over. But then when they come out of the half, because at that point I'm rocking 3 games. I'm rocking the Panthers and the Oilers. I'm checking out the Red Sox and the Yankees. And then I got this. So when I come back, I see Bryce Perkins throw an interception. I think that interception kind of sealed the deal. It was 37-19, but then they go down and score very quickly. But I think that was kind of the one that put the nail in the coffin.
I didn't catch it because I was a little busy. But, man, when I was like, why? I'm looking for stats and updates, and I forgot it came on at 8 o'clock. I didn't get a daggone a notification that it was over until after midnight. That kind of pissed me off. Because I'm like, it's a championship game that y'all advertised everywhere, but the day of the game, I couldn't find the game. Like, it was supposed to be on ESPN. It was supposed to be on ABC. I couldn't find it.
I forgot
what I gave up after a while.
I just use my like with Hulu Live TV. You can just go to a thing that says sports, and it gives you whatever events are going on. That way I ain't got to search for it. And that's how I found it. And then once you get your rotation going, like you can do your recent, you can go to a thing that says recent channels, And when I get to recent channels, it'll have my recent channels was the NHL, the UFL, and then MLB. So I was good to go. I was just hitting through that rotation, going back and forth.
Gentleman Jackson in the comments, he said Mickens only had 250 yards receiving in the regular season. Great game. Hey, playoffs make legends. When you make big games like this and you make big plays in big games, you become a legend.
Yeah, in big plays, you can't do nothing but.
If you remember, the playoffs is what made how many names in DC? How many names were made? They didn't do much of anything during the season, but in the playoffs, they became a name. They became a household name, even if for a short period of time. Timmy Smith.
I was to say.
And he did nothing. He didn't really do much before that. He didn't do nothing after that. And that's where you're at. Maddie said, I bet their parade would be better attended too. Oh, yeah. Because it's going to be a real parade. You know, it'll be a real parade where you got confetti and actually.
Let's divert off of that. Let's go hard right on this one. Or just turn off this one. Okay, which way you turn? Just turn.
Well, I wasn't gonna divert from the route there, but okay. Maddie, I love it. I love how you slid that in there. I love it, Maddie. I love it. But congratulations to the DC Defenders for winning the championship. If we say the last, what are we talking? If we just go to last nearly year, it's been pretty good run of DC sports. You know, we had the Commanders on the up. Now you got the DC Defenders winning a championship. The second half after the trade deadline with the Wizards, they looked way better and promising. The Caps did pretty well. Only problem is, since we're talking about DC, man, them Nats, man. Davey Martinez comments. Now, Midnight Rider hit me to these comments pre-show, and I said I was going to save my thoughts. Well, the thought that I had when he said it, and I wanted everybody to just listen. Listen real still. Listen real still. Just listen. Y'all hear that? That's called the nail being put in a coffin. I don't think he's going to be around much longer. Now, for more context, I'll turn it over to the Midnight Rider. Please tell us about these Davey Martinez comments.
No, I mean, it's real simple. I'm surprised it's led everywhere. The Nats lose their 7th straight game. They asked Davey about the performance and things like that. Is it on the coaches? And he says it's not on the coaches. But when he says it, I think people heard the words and didn't hear the spirit of the words being said. I think Davey's at a point right now where this team is so young, he needs somebody in that room to step up and be a leader and hold them accountable. And the problem is, Josh Bell isn't that type of guy. Everybody that is a Nats fan said, go out, get you a guy like a Jason Worth to teach these guys how to play ball and win. And I think that was the problem that management had this year. Is they didn't feel they were. I don't know what they thought, but that's the kind of guy they needed. They need somebody to hold this team accountable and give them structure. And I don't remember the last winning team that maybe it was the Padres that Josh Bell has been on. But these guys are so young, and it's so easy to know when this team is going to get blown out, like, or when they're going to lose and get shut out, because they don't have any patience at the plate. They run into outs. They run into more outs than you can shake a stick here. And I think that's what Davey's really talking to and alluding to. It's not a coach isn't out there running on the thing. A coach isn't the guy that has perfect example. They're playing the Mets. They're down 4-3. Man on second and third. Diaz has thrown 7 straight balls to this point. The next guy comes up, hits the second pitch, and then Ruiz comes up and hits the first pitch, both into outs, not advancing the runner. Like that's not coaching. That's you gotta know the moment. And I think that's the problem this young team is having is they don't play what's the word I'm looking for? It's not moments. I'll say that I'll steal the thing from the Commanders. Winning time moments. There are winning time moments when you can control the game and take full control of the game. And this group doesn't do it. They'll come up and they'll overrun second base and get tagged out. They'll come up and try to go from first to home and get thrown out. For some reason, they still have Jose Tena playing third base when, unless you're trying to save money or service time for Brady House, there's no way Brady House shouldn't be up here. There's no way Josh Bell should be getting at bats against left-handed pitching because he's 4 for 39 against left-handers. Go ahead and put Andre Shapiro in and go with it. Like, there's some decisions or moments they're being stubborn on. And that part I do blame on coaching, but I get what Davey's saying. Like, these guys have to be more accountable for themselves and control what they got going on. You know, you got 2 pitchers right now, Trevor Williams and Mitchell Parker, that can't get out of the 4th inning without giving up 6 runs. Like, it's just they're killing themselves. And that's where that frustration is coming out. You lose 7 in a row, and you keep telling people that, oh, this team should be fighting for a playoff spot. Well, you can't fight for a playoff spot if you lost 7 games in a row. You can't fight for a playoff spot when you just add in. You can name a random left-hander, and he's probably shut your team out this year on like 89 pitches. Like there are games where this team has only seen 90 pitches, and it's from Joe Schmo. Like, I can see if Strider, Scooble, Schemes, those kind of guys shut you out and only throw 89 pitches. I can get that. I can live with that. But when it's Joe Schmo from Idaho, I can't. I just can't. I can't do it, won't do it. That's what this is what Davey did just now. This was Davey's version of can't do it, won't do it. Can't win with him, can't win without him. And I hope the players heard what he said and don't take the media perspective, because Davey didn't quit on this team. He still has the same beliefs, but you got to do something to help yourself. Help me, help you. And then at the end of the day, then they can show you the money. Just to finish that off. There you go. That's my diatribe for the day.
I'm with it. Because I don't know where to go with it.
This team just lacks veteran leadership. I mean, you got Nathaniel Lowe, but it's just something missing. And I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I think they had gone out and gotten another veteran or two, a better player than Josh Bell. Like, there was talks about Christian Walker. I think that would have helped more than Bell. And then, I mean, think about it. Your outfield is all guys with under 2 years of service time. So it's Wood, Young, Hassel, Lyle when all is up, and what's the other kid? For some reason, they play Alex Cole like he's a consistent starter. Alex Cole should be on the first thing smoking. Just collect your bag of Doritos in the trade at the end of the day. But it's just, I don't know, man. When I watch this team, I just see the youth, and I understand the youth, but there's got to be something leading the youth. I promise I won't say anything else.
Okay. We got a couple breaking news. I wanted to talk about this too. So before we get into the finals, I wanted to talk about this. I don't even have a banner for it, so let me just say this. But Perry, appreciate that. Appreciate you checking in. Happy Father's Day to you, brother. Orlando just traded for Desmond Bain. They gave up Kentavious Caldwell Pope, KCP, Cole Anthony, and this year's number 16 pick. That along with Kevin Durant saying that he only wants to play for the Heat, the Spurs, and the Rockets. Those are his 3 destinations that he wants to play for. First, let's talk about this Orlando trade. Does this move the needle for you? Does this kind of sort of set in Orlando, a young Orlando team that's moving? Does this set them back?
No.
Or am I tripping and just being overreactive?
I know, actually sets them forward. Because you get Desmond Bain is a guy that can score the bucket, score the basketball, and shoot. And then he gives you also a good defender. So you add him to Banchero and what's the Wagner guys, Fritz, Vaughn, whatever their names are. I think that gives them a solid lineup. I mean, what'd you give up? You gave up KCP, who's a role player. Cole Anthony, role player. Cole Anthony also a infamous conversation between the Midnight Rider and the big guy KG on draft day. That's definitely one of our bigger head-to-head battles in terms of player evaluations.
True indeed.
I think I'm more right though, but it's all good.
Yeah, because he hasn't turned out to be what I thought he would be. Because I liked him at North Carolina, but he hasn't turned out to be what I thought he was going to be.
I think you had him. I think you had him more as a frontline guard, and I thought he would be a guy that's a good 6'7" man. He can play in the league, but he's not going to be your star.
I had him slightly better than his dad, able to run the team and set the table on the floor, but could also come up with clutch buckets. I had him like that, but he was going to be a little bit more of a scorer in my opinion. But hey, I can be wrong. Perry said slightly makes Orlando better, could solidify them for the top 5 in the East if they stay healthy. That says a lot. And then another thing, I'm glad Perry chimed in because it made me think of it. I heard Jason Kidd may be the next coach in New York. I don't know how much truth that is.
I thought Dallas denied them access to Jason, and then like everybody's coach they tried to get access to has denied them access to that coach. So now they've moved on to the gentleman, I think his name is Jenkins, the Memphis Grizzlies coach that Memphis fired late. I think he's their top target right now. Perry can always chime in if I'm wrong on this, but I thought they whiffed on their top 5 that they tried to get from somewhere else, and now they're trying to figure it out. So like Udoka, they said no on that. Minnesota told them no. Dallas told them no. So I think New York's probably gonna have to go the route of either fire coaches and I don't think Malone fits them because Malone, if you hire Malone, you might as well have kept Thibodeau.
Now, Perry, this is what I heard. It's what I heard. Somebody said, go ahead and just pull the trigger and do what you should do.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
This is what I heard. This is why I say this is what I heard. Mark Jackson to the Knicks.
Let me see something. Hold on. Let me see. Go ahead. Just go ahead and say it now. Go ahead. Go ahead. You can go.
Mark Jackson to the Knicks. That's what I heard. They said do what needs to be done.
What
else can you do?
That's a Stephen A. Smith one. He just started leading that charge a couple days ago. I was surprised you didn't pull the clip and have it in the chat?
No. I didn't even know. I heard somebody else say it. Perry said more dynamic than Dad, but not a better point guard. Talking about Cole Anthony. Said Dallas denied access. First 2 interviews of Jenkins and Brown. Not a whiff. They asked and got rejected. And that's what clubs are supposed to do. Hey, look, I just asked the question. I mean, you got a New York guard who went to St. John's, who played with the Knicks. One of, arguably, in my opinion, probably a top 20 guard of all time. I'm just saying. And he said Mark Jackson is fan talk, not real. J-Dub said, I'd like to see Mark Jackson in New York. Perry said, not happening. Oh, here we go. Sam talking about what up, OKC believers. Man, you late. You late this morning. That's a $5 fine. Would there be a Sunday night WrestleManiacs? No, we took off. WrestleManiacs were off last night due to Father's Day, and we had some other things that we were trying to get done. So we'll be back on next Saturday. And Perry said when he did not get the backup color position, I should have told you. Huh? No future as the Knicks coach. So I'm just I'm spitballing here. That's all. I'm spitballing. Now this Kevin Durant thing. He's put it out there that he only wants to go to 3 teams. If he goes to the Spurs, I think that kind of sort of moves them up and makes them a championship contender because he doesn't have to lead the team. Wemby can lead the team. He can still play second fiddle, maybe third fiddle behind De'Aaron Fox, depending on who they trade for, because I don't think they're going to trade the core of that team to get an aging Kevin Durant.
No, you would trade the kid they drafted last year. What's his name? Devin Vassell from UConn. You trade him maybe a couple of first round picks. And that's how you make that move. Make the salaries work on the back end. But those will be your major components. A couple first rounders, Devin Vassell, and then whatever makes the money work.
Now, Durant is 36. He'll be 37 in September. So,
KG, can I interrupt you real quick?
Sure.
I want to ask. I see a couple things. He said no future as the Knicks coach, but I just want to ask Perry, is he on the payroll for this guy? Pin the name Johnny Bryant. This is like the 3rd or 4th time you brought up Johnny Bryant, and I know we have guys that we like and we see and we want to. I'm just curious. Are you on the payroll? Are you on the payroll, Perry? That's all. And Sam Mara said that's why I was late this morning. I was up till 4 a.m. waiting on you guys to start last night's show. I held on to hope.
If we ain't in there by 10 o'clock, it ain't happening, brother. It ain't happening.
Go ahead, man. I'm sorry. So KG talking about KD moving to possibly San Antonio, Miami, or what's the 3rd team?
Houston.
All right. So Houston can build theirs around one of their young guards or young players. You could actually give up what's the kid Green, because I think the Thompson brothers, the Thompson kid, is going to take a huge step this all season and this season into being a very dynamic 20-point scorer, probably 7+ rebound guy and a 7+ assist guy. So if you wanted, I wouldn't move off of Jalen Green, but I think it's depending on what the asking price is. I don't see how Miami gets it done, to be honest with you, because Miami just got a bunch of ordinary Joes that overshoot their skis, and I just can't see it.
What's crazy is we're even talking about Kevin Durant having a choice where he's traded to. He forced his way. Let me rephrase it. He didn't force his way out of Golden State. He left Golden State free agency. He forced his way out of Brooklyn because that didn't work out with Kyrie, Harden. That didn't work out. You forced your way out. You went to Phoenix, and Phoenix doesn't want anything else to do with Bradley Beal. That whole thing with Devin Booker, it's like, what was the point of going there? Now you ready to leave again? Like, somebody on Twitter went at him and said, man, you killing your legacy. Like, what have you done since you won those 2 championships that a lot of people say you kind of rode on Steph and Clay's coattails and Draymond too's coattails to win those 2 championships? And it's kind of crazy. But he did have a 50-40-90 season, which is great. It's absolutely great. But it's just like, yeah, now you're looking for one last ride. And I like to say this because I like to bring things into perspective. If this was LeBron James doing this, he would be crucified to no end. But it's Kevin Durant, and it's like it's so far under the radar, nobody's really talking about it. And I'm like, that's kind of crazy. You can't crucify one player for doing it, but when another player does it, you call him a ring chaser, stat pattern. What are you still doing in the league? Won't you retire? But
all right,
I digress.
So it's funny to me. We always talk about this term. I call it the fan perspective. How there's a player that somebody else will like, i.e. Eddie Jones, and a person that's the fan of the team has a way different perspective of that player, i.e. Midnight Rider. And I think if you say that he rode the coattails of Steph and them to that title, then you didn't watch that season, because he took the big shots. He was the lead dog for most of that. They took steps back and let him and went through him, as opposed to it being the other way around. So that's where I would kind of balk at that conversation and that talk about KD not being the force on that team, because I thought he took all the important shots in that playoff run. I could be wrong, but that's how I felt. And again, I'll take that to perspective and how you saw the whole thing play out. But the fact, it's different because KD isn't. I don't think people are like, KD doesn't get viewed in that conversation of greatest ever. So that's why he would never fall under the same scrutiny as LeBron. So he wouldn't have that. Another reason KD wouldn't get it is because he's not being compared to Michael Jordan. Like your microscope changes based on who you're compared to. He's just in the midst of the top 15 or 20 guys. So that microscope ain't that microscope that you're going to look at the tiniest atom through. It's the one that you might look and like that you had in grade school, and you looking at that thing to see what the cells are in an amoeba or whatever it is. Pardon my poor science thing there, but still, you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I really believe that Kevin Durant should be mentioned when we're talking greatest forwards, not just power, not just small, but we're talking greatest forwards. I think he should be mentioned in the conversation with a Bird, a Baylor, a Pippen, a Worthy. He should be mentioned in that conversation because he is a dog.
Right.
Perry said he knows how Leon Rose moves. I think that's why he keeps bringing up Johnny Bryant. He said Houston will offer the best package of players for Durant, but San Antonio has the best package of picks.
And Miami ain't got
he said, sorry. No, Miami has nothing. But hold on, wait. You got Pat Riley sitting upstairs. They'll find something.
Nah,
what?
Nah.
What?
No. Pat has pushed himself into a place where he's in the spot that the Wizards have been in, where unless he lands him a superstar, he gonna have to take it down to the studs and start over. You can't tape together. This is he's done the last 3 years. What's that joint that used to come on TV? Was that dude MacGyver, where he take a duct tape, a safety pin, and somehow make a bomb?
Yeah.
That's what he's been doing. Like Tyler Hero is your only player with any value. Everybody else you don't know. I mean, the kid from UCLA. I'm sorry, I can't dog him out. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, and I know Perry knows who I'm talking about. You might even know what I'm talking about, but that's it. And then they got the kid. Oh, they got the kid from Baylor, the Mitchell kid. That's their 3 best players: the Mitchell kid, the kid from UCLA, and Tyler Hero. Are you about to do the? Oh, I thought you was doing the was it Santino?
No. Because I had you. And since we didn't have a WrestleManiacs last night, you working kind of stiff, and I'm about to bruise a bro to you because like you being wrong, man. We talking about Pat Riley here. We're talking about the Godfather. You think that nobody owes him a favor? If he wants KD, he'll find a way to get KD. Now, will they be good and competitive after they get KD? We ain't talking about that.
I just don't think they have the assets, KG. I mean, I get it. And I love the fact that we're talking about KD and you're KG, and we keep going all over and mistaking. But I'm dead serious, dog. It's just I just don't see the path to Miami being anything that bears fruit. Like Miami would have to get another team involved, maybe even another 2 teams involved to make it work.
All right. Perry says, sorry, Golden State doesn't get those titles without KD. So that narrative is BS. And that's the narrative. If you go, Midnight Rider always tells me I need to start following different people. But this is just the FYP that pops up and you see stuff and you just be like, what made you formulate that? Now, me personally, when he went to Golden State, it was head scratching to me. Like, what are you going to do on Golden State? But they won 2 championships. So, I mean, I guess it worked. Sam said we need Ryder to do an Eddie Jones, the Rise and Fall of Greatness episode. I've been trying to get him to do it. He won't do it. And Perry said, and you didn't watch the previous season, best record, but blew the chip. Yeah. That's why I always say, 73-9 is good, but it don't have a ring to it like 72-10.
My bad. Thank you. That's who I forgot. You're absolutely right, Perry. Just going to his comment. It's Jaquez is the guy. Oh, hold on. Let's not skip this one. I'm sorry. There's a better comment. Dead on MR as usual. Can't miss that one. But Jaquez is the guy he's talking about. And he said, don't disrespect Bam like that, MR. That's why I couldn't think of Bam. I apologize.
Sam said, can NBA legacy... Okay, he said, can NBA legacy / success be measured by anything besides a championship ring? I believe so many legends, Vince Carter for one. But see, that's why when we ever had these debates about great players, I tell people off break, take the championship rings off the table. No, you can't take the championship rings off the table. And LeBron's 4-6 in championships. Jerry West is 1-8. Elgin Baylor's 0-7. But you can't sit here and argue and say that Elgin Baylor and Jerry West aren't great players. They aren't top 50 players. You can't say that they're not. You can't say that LeBron James is not a top 75 player. Now, with top 50, did they get some of that wrong? Yeah, because Dominique Wilkins was left off a top 50. And he should have been. But Dominique Wilkins doesn't have a championship at all, but he's a top 75 player. If we went down the list of all the players on top, just do top 50 first. It's a lot of players on that list that don't have a ring. And if they do have a ring, they have one. it's about accolades, yes, but you got to look at the overall career. How did they impact the game? How did they impact their team? You had people that are greats that carried teams on their backs,
Mm.
and they don't get any credit.
So a guy that carries a team on his back maybe takes them to a championship game that they probably weren't expected to get to.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't get no respect.
No respect.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because it's cool, but he didn't win that ring that year. But he could have did more. You got guys that still say that Kobe Bryant rode Shaq's coattails in 2001. And I'm like, did you watch that 2001 Laker team? Arguably one of the top 3 greatest teams of all time, behind the Chicago Bulls of 96, the 86 Celtics, and then you got the 2001 Lakers. Arguably one of the best teams of all time. Every time I bring up that 86 team, you bridle at that. I like that.
Let's stay at the wormholes. We have 54 minutes, and we still got 2 games to get to.
I like that. Let's just say 86. Oh man, Perry said they would have to drag a third team in to make it work. Yep, that's true. I believe in that. What are you going to do in Golden State? Win? But it was just like I didn't see a need for him to be in Golden State, but it worked. I was like, you're not going to be. I never saw Kevin Durant as second fiddle to anybody, and that's not because he's from the area. That's not because he's a big Redskin fan. No, I never saw him being second fiddle to anybody. When he went to Golden State, I can't really say he was second fiddle. I got to call him 1A. When he was in Golden State because it was Steph at 1 and him at 1A. Just that. And if Draymond Green would have kept his damn mouth shut and stopped trying to rule over everybody, that team would have never broke up. Sam said, in my opinion, it doesn't matter who they get. Now is proof that any team has a chance. Any team can be up. The injuries can bring them down. That is true. Perry said,
fight back on that a little bit? No, go ahead. Say this one. Then I want to fight back.
Okay. You can take the rings off the table. The NFL does. We let Jordan's success and ESPN change the narrative. I agree with that. I agree. Get to these comments and then we're gonna step aside for a second. JoJo checking in. She said, can't agree, no respect. Boom checking in. Happy Father's Day, fellas. Happy Father's Day to you too, Boom. Appreciate that. Perry said if there was no coattail, Shaq would have won when he touched down in LA in 96.
Hey, we know who his shooting guard was in 96. I'm just saying.
We're not going to do this.
Won't win with him.
You could have. We're not going to do this. And JoJo said, yeah, 1A. I'll give you that. But we got to jump out real quick. We're going to step away, be right back in a split second. Now we back. Had to reset because that wormhole was opening, and I know we was getting ready to get sucked in that thing like a black hole in space. U.S. Open final day is live today. We talked about it with the correspondent on Thursday. Right now,
you got Sam Burns at -4. He doesn't tee off until 2:15. Adam Scott at -3. He tees off at 2:15. JJ Spawn. Well, actually, I'm surprised he's still on the leaderboard because he was there day one and he's held on. He tees off at 2:04. Victor Hovland at -1 tees off at 2:04. There's Carlos Ortiz, who's at even par for 153, and then Tyrell Hatton at +1 at 153. Thurston Lawrence, a guy the correspondent brought up, tees off at 142 at +1. And I can't see who that is in 6 because there's a line going through my screen. Looks like it's Peterson.
Yeah.
All right.
At Peterson. And Scotty Scheffler is 8 shots back at 4 over. That's saying a lot right now. I don't know if he can make up that ground. He's
not making up. This now you're just playing to move yourself up the thing to get paid more money. This is all this is for. This is how big do you want your paycheck to be? Because this kind of a day, this tournament, and the way I've seen the golf ball move this morning, just on a couple shots. Yeah, you playing for pride and money. Do you want that paycheck to be 7 figures or 6?
JoJo said they said this course is hard. Yeah, I heard it's one of the hardest in the country. That's what the correspondent was saying on Thursday.
He said that -4 is probably gonna be the best number you can walk out with. And with that being said, I think the guy to watch today is a guy like Adam Scott, because Adam Scott has just enough to move around the course and not hurt himself. He's not going to take chances or anything like that. Like he'll be the type of golfer today that's going to go out with the goal of shooting even par. And if he can shoot even par, that puts so much pressure on Burns that Burns hasn't been in this spot before, and he could crash. And you can see a guy like Scott or Spawn sitting right there hoisting whatever the trophy is at the end of the day. I know it's no Shanae, but whatever they give out at the U.S. Open.
Oh man, JoJo said very difficult course. I don't think I would want to play it.
I've watched shots that any other course the ball would sit, like it'll hit and roll a little bit, but this one the ball shot like another 30, 40 feet and off the green into the rough or into the brush on a weird angle coming out of a sand trap. Like it's just like this course makes you have to be very accurate. And if you don't have the accuracy bag in your bag, it's going to be a long day. I mean, look at the numbers. I think Rory's like +10 or +11, something like that. You got golfers that are good golf. Scheffler, +8.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Mm. Yeah.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that, please. And we will have the correspondent on Tuesday to break that down and recap everything that you've seen at the U.S. Open. But now, this is where it's getting sticky. The Florida Panthers, 5. The Oilers, 2. Florida needs one more game to repeat as champions. This was yesterday. Midnight Rider, I'm going to ask you a question. Can the Oilers do anything to stave off elimination and force this for 7?
They can. I don't know if they will. The note I saw last night as I was watching this game is after 40 minutes of hockey, the Edmonton Oilers have never had a lead going into the third intermission. So for the first 40 minutes, it's always either been a tie or Florida's been ahead going into the third intermission, which is crazy in its own right. But that shows you what's been happening. I think Edmonton stole game 4 when they came back after being down 3 goals, tied it up, and then they go into overtime. And let's not lose sight of that. We've had 5 games with, 3 overtimes? Like this is pushing to be one of the greatest Stanley Cup series ever. And in the words of Chris Jericho, ever. So, I mean, the Panthers got out early again. I think they were out to a 3-0 lead. got down to 4-1, I think. I don't remember how it played out because after a while, the eyes got heavy. But Florida just, I said it when they played the Hurricanes. I don't know what their defense is on. I don't know what they are on. But it's like when you fight that final boss and you chop off that arm and you go to celebrate like, yes. And then that arm regenerates and comes back. And that yes goes to, oh, shit. That's what it looks like. The Oilers have not gotten a chance to play this. The only time they got to play their style was the third quarter of Game 4, where they dominated and came back and won that. But even still, it was painful to watch. I mean, last night you didn't get a goal from Drysdale. I think the guy of this series, and I don't know what the title of the trophy is called, but the MVP might be Marchand. He's got his 5th goal in the 5th game, which is one of those anomaly stats in hockey lore. And he had a great post-game interview. I forgot his quote. But, yeah, if you get a chance to watch the press conference, the post-game press conference, and just pull up Marchand and see what you get out of that, I think it's pretty funny. But he's just putting himself in hockey lore. I think it's the second team that he scored 5 goals in the first 5 games of a playoff series with.
Loved it. JoJo said, because I did a top 10, LOL, saw that difficult course by golfers and cashed out. She said she posted it in the group, Midnight Rider. Sam said, but is it the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be?
Hey, I'll tell you this much. The bottom line is right now, the Florida Panthers are kicking the Edmonton Oilers' ass, and that's Marchand 316, if you want to go there.
Well, when is, let me see, Game 6. They got one change. Game 6 is Tuesday at 8.
Yep.
So
that should be in Edmonton.
Nope, that's in Florida.
Oh, that barn's gonna be hot. That's gonna be a hot barn. Whew.
Man. Next up.
I just hope Duval Paul don't lose his mind if that comes to fruition.
I hope not. But Pacers 111. I'm sorry, Thunder 111, Pacers 104. Series is tied at 2-2. This is anybody's series. Uh-oh. Maddie said Oilers need Picard to be great, and he wasn't.
Yeah.
And JoJo said that bomb burning up.
Yes, indeed, baby.
This series, they played on Friday. This is odd, man. They don't play again until I think tomorrow. Let me double check. I think the next game is not until tomorrow, because we were talking about how this series is going. Yeah, they don't.
No, it can't be tomorrow. It's probably Tuesday.
No, it's tomorrow, 8:30.
So then, when's the NHL game? Tuesday.
Did I say Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday.
Okay.
NHL's Tuesday, NBA's tomorrow. They're not putting them on.
No, the only reason I said that because I know the channels have purposely tried to make it so they don't conflict, or the schedules don't conflict.
Friday night was the last time they played. Of course, you got Saturday and Sunday for your travel day, which is kind of a blower because you would think NBA Finals, Father's Day, Sunday night, what way to end your day? But I digress. Nothing's the same anymore. For the Thunder, Chet Holmgren, 14 points, 15 rebounds. Jalen Williams gave you 27. Hartenstein, 2, 3,
no,
6.
No, he don't get it. He don't get it.
Okay. SGA gave you 35. Lou Dort, 6, 0, 3.
He don't get it either.
He don't get it? Okay.
He's played himself out of it. He's played himself out of it. The triple single has to have standards. I just can't give everybody the triple single.
Lou Dort has screwed the pooch on a triple single.
Exactly.
Alex Caruso gave you 20. For the Pacers, Siakam gave you 20 and 8. Naismith gave you 8, 2, and 9. Miles Turner gave you 12 points. Halliburton gave you 18. Nembhard gave you 10. 17 from Toppin off the bench and 8 from McConnell and Mathurin off the bench. The Thunder shot 47% from the floor, 18% from behind the arc, 3 of 16. 89% from the line. For the Pacers, they shot 42% from the floor, 30% from behind the line, and 75% from the charity stripe. Jeez. Thunder out-rebounded the Pacers 43-33. Pacers had 15 turnovers to the Thunder's 13, and the Thunder dominated in the paint 50-36. Midnight Rider, what were your thoughts on this game?
Chet Holmgren better get in the weight room. Chet Holmgren, I don't know what he's trying to get to in his offensive game. He did come out with 14 points and 15 boards, but when I watched him in certain situations, I was trying to figure out what he was trying to do, and it like he was getting manhandled. So he gonna have to ante it up and hit some Popeyes chicken. What's he in? He in OKC, so it's probably like an In-N-Out burger. Whatever the weight room is, he got to hit that. Maybe you got to go get some Nugenics. No, he's not over 40, but whatever the drug is that cats are taking, the creatine or whatever it is, whatever this generation's version of that, because he got to get stronger at the point. I watched him a couple times just get manhandled by the guy he was defending and forcing some bad shots. And the good thing was down the stretch, SGA was able to carry the team and get them into some possessions and get some fouls and score some buckets. But I'm just worried about how they make this work. So I like the adjustment of Jalen Williams bringing the ball up the court, taking SGA off the basketball. I think the coach finally understands that you can't play a man for 12 minutes in a quarter. It doesn't make sense. You can steal seconds, you can steal minutes. Even if it's on a free throw, you take them out and then you send them right to the thing. Yes, Sam. Yes, Sam. You know what I'm talking about. Gas station pills, whatever it is. You gotta get to that next level. And I think that's where we gotta figure out, because tomorrow is in OKC. Tomorrow's in OKC. And I think OKC needs to have a big performance from its role players. Lou Dort is a guy that shoots better than this, and he hasn't shot well. I think they struggle getting into their offensive sets. Everything seems to be iso ball to me sometimes. Like, I don't know what OKC is anymore in this series, and it's bothering me. I think I even said that on the offensive end in one-on-one situation that Chet Holmgren is limited. I'm not going to say what I actually said. It was just in the heat of the moment and kind of disrespectful. All right, very disrespectful. But no, I just think this series tomorrow night is very big. I still think it's going to end up going 7 now. I don't see a way where, because of the way these two teams have played all year long and they haven't lost 2 in a row, I think the ultimate thing would be Game 7 being the spot where it's on the line and they got to figure it out, because this could be a classic series. And if you're not watching just because it's a small market teams, you're missing out, because these games have been good. We've only had one blowout. So, I mean, you've seen series in the past where we had like the Boston Massacre. Actually, we had 2 of them. And the people watch the series the rest of the way. So if you can watch that, you can watch this. Like, stop worrying about where they from and who they are, and love basketball. Because these next 3 games, because I think it's going 7, are going to be good. But I can see if OKC can turn that. It's just something that OKC can't get. OKC can't get Indiana to turn the basketball over like they do everybody else. And that's and that's what's killing them. You know, it's like when you bring your superpower and your superpower falls on deaf ears. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to work around it. Sometimes you only got that one, and you don't know what your workaround is. And I think that's what Indiana's doing. Is Indiana's forcing OKC to find other way to win besides their suffocating defense. They trying to suffocate them, but all they over here doing is breathing again. Shout out to Tony Braxton.
Well, I think the key to this game is that the Pacers, they really got to score more points than the Thunder. That's the only way you can win this next game. You got to win game 5 by scoring. But all jokes aside, you have to take advantage of a team going 3 for 16 from behind the arc. You got to take advantage of it.
All right.
You got to. You only lost by 7. And you got to shoot better from the floor. But this is not it. This is not it for the Pacers. The Pacers, and you got to have more than what Halliburton gave you 18. Naismith's got to give you more than 8 and 9. You know, you need every starter being in double figures, but you also need something off the bench. You got to have something off the bench.
Well, Topic gave you the off the bench.
Yeah, he gave you 17, but he can't do it by himself. He gave you 17 off the bench. Caruso gave you 20, and that 20 alone, pretty much. But they had 35 from SGA, so it's so much, man. But they got to get more production all the way down. Like right now, you got to think about it like this. You got to think about it like it's the NCAA tournament. It's win or go home. You got to win.
Yeah, I got you.
So Sam said, let's do it again. Let's all say OKC finna win, and they finna win again. You know, I'm going to go ahead and counter your mojo with my own mojo.
Don't
the Thunder
you
are
dare.
just so good. I don't know if the Pacers can beat them in game 5. They're so good. Now we're even, Sam. Random Rick Review said, sure, I could watch this, but who has time when the WNBA season is going on right now? You can do both. You can actually do both. And Caitlin Clark came back last night or yesterday and dominated. She had a hell of a game. Hell of a game.
She had a good game. She had a good game. She was also getting abused. Used and abused her.
I'm gonna say this, and this WNBA is totally off of NBA, but I found out a way to neutralize Caitlin Clark. You gotta have her checking your runner, so you running her through several screens in the paint, and then you kick it out, and you make her chase you on defense.
You ain't gotta do that though. All you do is make her the object in the pick and roll, so she has to switch out with your best dribbler, and then that's what you do. And I'm sorry, I know what's the girl that used to be on Chicago last season, that had
Kennedy
like
Carter?
Yeah, she need to be in the league. She shouldn't be on the sideline.
True. Oh, speaking of, since we doing WNBA shout outs, Paige Buchers.
She had 35 one night. And I think she went back to back 30 nights, right?
Mm-hmm. She gave him the business again last night. Getting it in. Sam said they either got it or they don't. It's go time. Not the time to figure your shit out. OKC for the win. I don't think so. JoJo said, yeah, she did. And said, so she's getting abused. Random Rick Review says, our tickets still $5.99 for the WNBA. No, that was a rumor. I don't know where the tickets are $5.99 anyway in the WNBA.
I actually tried to go
to DC.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'll try to go to Mystics game, and I think it was like the lowest ticket was 25 or 40. No, it's 45. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what, because everybody was like, oh, they lowered the prices to Fever game to $3.99. I'm like, who's lowering the prices that much? They're gonna come in the red if they do that.
No, I think they were saying that because Clark wasn't there.
Yeah, and I was like, come on now, that's not what we're doing. JoJo said, yeah, that's crazy. She not in the league. Blackballed her because she kept crying for CC.
Yeah.
So, but here's the thing, and I know we supposed to be talking NBA Finals, but this is something somebody brought up. They said the Chicago Sky is struggling. They claimed it was Teresa Weatherspoon, right?
Yeah,
They got a new coach, and they're still struggling.
Because there's a chemistry issue and it's an offensive issue. They got the skyline, but they unfortunately they ain't got the streets. And you can't go through the streets. You can't get to the skyline.
Yeah, true. Random Rick says, dang, Caitlin up the prices. No, that price has always been expensive, long before she got in the league. WNBA tickets are expensive. At work, just stopping to say, hey, smash that like button for y'all. Appreciate that. Love it. Love it. Be back tomorrow for drive time. 5:00. OKC is the Ric Flair of the NBA. Win by any means necessary. Oh man, that's the dirtiest play in the game, and they were playing some dirty defense, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. And JoJo said, new coach, bad roster.
Yep.
Like people are saying that what's her name from South Carolina, Cardoso?
Mm-hmm.
They talking about she's playing out of position. Why is she not down low? Why is she not doing this? But I think she's averaging like over 20 points and 10 rebounds a game.
Dang, I didn't think we were going this here.
Yeah, I didn't kind of go down that rabbit hole. But Game 5 is tomorrow for the WNBA Finals.
I mean NBA.
Sorry, NBA Finals. See, got WNBA on the brain. Now, let's do our Sunday tradition so we can get out of here. What you eating?
You know what? I have no idea. We're getting out at 12:38. I'm gonna run past the old church and see if, because they're supposed to have Father's Day dinners today. So I might see if they have something and I can grab one of those and I ain't gotta cook. Otherwise, I have no idea. I might try to grab something from, I don't feel like cooking. So I might see if I can grab something off of DoorDash or Uber Eats and call it a day. Go ahead with yours, and then I want like 2 minutes at the end of this.
Okay. Suppose we're having Barilla tacos.
Ah!
That is what we are having today. Barilla and a lot of gaming. So hopefully I'll be able to really game with the kids and my brother, just to spend the day away. So
you see Sam R?
Frozen berry blue, typhoon Hawaiian punch, and carne asada on the grill. Ooh, Lord.
Is there any vodka in that Hawaiian punch?
Buddy, she reminds me of a West Side Story. JoJo said, "Who she have 11 points and 6 rebounds." Cardoso, she's had a couple 20-point games, but they just playing her out of position, I believe. That's what I've heard, and that's what I'm like. Yeah, I think that's the truth. So,
JoJo, you gotta clear your schedule, one day, even if it's just for a short hit, and give us a little WNBA. Because I asked earlier in the week for a correspondent to, well, not a correspondent, because now we have the correspondent, but someone to give us a little WNBA knowledge. So we'll talk about it.
most definitely. And Midnight Rider, let me get to these 2 comments. No, sir, she has not. All right, that's why we got to get you in here, JoJo. And Sam said, nope, 4 years sober. That's a
All
bet.
right, cool.
That's cool. All right, Midnight Rider, the floor is yours.
So this time of year, we always, my friends and I, we have this thing. It's called the McAfee Family Juneteenth Celebration. I'll try to post the video from it because we had a group of young ladies that teach teens and young girls African dance. So I want to give that a shout out. It's kind of like our friends group family reunion. Happens once a year. You know what day it is. It's the Saturday before whenever we celebrate Juneteenth. And just want to give the McAfee family the shout out for just doing this every year, trying to make it better every year. And then also they lost their dog. And if you're a dog person or a pet person, you know, pet's a part of your family. So for the fact that they lost the pet the week before this happened, and they still put on a great show and had great amenities and great food, and it was a great time. I want to tell them we appreciate that. So that's all I wanted this little 2 minutes for, was just to recognize some people that every year they go out their way to make their house the home for a bunch of people that they're friends with. And it's funny because it happens in waves. You know who's coming at what times. And it's just a great time, man. It's music, it's food, it's drinks. Shout out to the bartender. I forgot the young lady's name, but her son just graduated high school and is going to Temple on a full scholarship. So that's it, man. Just giving people some love, trying to give everybody the flowers they deserve.
Most definitely, and that's greatly appreciated, man. Greatly appreciated. So, got nothing to say after that because that was so poignant and eloquent. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, 5 p.m. The drive. Oh no. Maddie's off tomorrow, isn't he?
I think he is off tomorrow.
I think Maddie's off tomorrow.
Let's have Maddie announce it if he is on tomorrow. If he's not, because I think they're glamping. I think they're doing their camping thing.
So that means you got in the passenger seat tomorrow at 8 p.m., correct?
I got to double check with Jack on that one as well, because I know
what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
I'm just saying. We gotta make
sure double check.
No, I'm just double checking because let's do this. Let's make sure Jack is good because I know he's had some computer issues, and then we'll announce it tomorrow morning for the crew, so that way we don't give misinformation.
All right, and because it's a whole refrigerator in the office kitchen that the schedule for the week is supposed to be put on.
I know that, but you know things happen in life.
One of these days, man, we're gonna get that office with that big ass basketball court, and in that little office area that's like maybe like a 20 by 20 room, but we got an NBA regulation basketball court. So, all right, for the Midnight Rider, I'm the big guy KG. Happy Father's Day to all. We don't do no overtime, y'all. We are out of here.